What is up, guys? DZ Fear, and today we're going to be taking a look at one of my most requested decks over the past couple weeks, which is Digital Bug Inzektors. There's obviously a lot of synergy between these two archetypes. The Digital Bugs all don't specify that they work with Digital Bugs, they just work with level 3 insects, which means that they have synergy with Inzektor Dragonfly and Inzektor Centipede. You can revive them, you can special them from the deck, you can special them from the hand. There's just a ton of cool stuff you can do, and I thought I would show you the deck list just because it really has been asked a ton on that Digital Bug deck profile. So anyway, we're playing 3 of the Cocoon Denser. This is your wind-up rat, really cool. It revives Dragonfly from the grave for free. Yeah, just one of the obvious 3 ofs, I think. The other obvious 3 of is Digital Bug Sentiment. So when Sentiment switches from attack to defense position, you can special level 3 insect from your deck. That's incredible. It has a ton of synergy because they just special summon Centipede or Dragonfly or Hornet if you don't have it yet. Straight from the deck, it's kind of like a Rhoda in that sense. And there's some cool combos. I'm not playing A&D Changer still because I don't really like that card. But if you open this in Terror Top, you can special Terror Top, special Takedown Borg, normal this, and then overlay for Mech Equipped Engineer, and then switch this to defense to get whatever Inzektor you need from the deck. It just adds a lot more power and consistency to the deck and the Inzektor archetype as a whole. The least important one is probably Digital Bug Web Soldier. This one's still important because it's mainly when you're making Exceed summons, you want to have the Spider Guy and the Cocoon as your Exceed materials because they have the best effects and they work best together. So we still want to play 2 of, but generally speaking, especially in a guy from the hand, isn't really like a plus, unlike the other 2. So he's okay. Much better in a pure Digital Bug deck, but in a hybrid version, he's really not what you want to be spending your normal summon on, so we're only playing 2. For the Inzektors, we're playing 3 Centipede, obviously, like, it's one of the best ones, and also it's at 3. 3 Ladybug, I kind of play back and forth with either 2 Ladybug and a Hopper, or 3 Ladybug. I think the Ladybug is just more important. I mean, Hopper has its uses, just because you can like push through Cosmos spaceships and stuff. But I think that Ladybug is just like a better card overall, and it helps you make rank 5s. So I think Ladybug is just better, so we're just playing 3 of those instead. And then 1 Dragonfly, 1 Hornet, and 1 Gigamantis, just the one-ofs for your combos and stuff. Moving on, we have 1 Blacklisted Soldier. Obviously, all the Digital Bugs are light monsters, and all the Inzektors are dark monsters. BLS is really big. He's not as great right now as he used to be, but he's okay. And yeah, he's huge and just attack stuff and banish stuff. Really cool card, and always a good sacky one-of when you can play it. We're playing 3 Terror Top and 1 Takedown Borg, mainly just for the combo that I just mentioned, especially in the Mech Equipped early on is really important. You can also bring out like Dante if you want to, and if you need the Corbage guy, you can just go into Giga Brilliant and then rank up into the Digital Bug rank 5. So yeah, pretty cool. Don't really need to play 2 Takedown Borg because, I don't know, the deck usually just OTKs. Inzektors just tend to do that, and all the digital support just makes them that much faster, so I really haven't found the need for a second Takedown Borg. I really want to get away from the Kaijus, but I feel like you actually just have to play them. If you cut these cards, you like don't have any outs to the Cosmos spaceships. These just make it a lot easier to kill your opponent. Just taking, or just getting rid of any good monster your opponent has, and then just popping it with Inzektor Hornet is just really stupid. So I think you just have to play these. There's not as much of an emphasis on Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. We're only playing 1 of those, but I think you really do have to play these guys. And lastly, just 2 Maxi. This deck is pretty good at breaking boards, but it's still kind of reliant on its normal summon. Once it gets going, you can usually do a lot of stuff, but it is still reliant on its normal summon in the early stages of the game, so opening Maxi when your opponent's like going off is just really important. So that's it for the monsters. There's like a ton of them. Some other ones you could consider playing. You could play Brilliant Fusion. I don't really want to in this deck. I know it's a surprise because I always put it in decks, but I felt like this deck didn't really need it. There's so many cards you can brick with already that I didn't really want to play that, even though it's a good engine. Mathematician also comes up, but I think with the Terror Top and like the Digital Bugs, you don't really need a Mathematician. Yeah, Veiler is pretty good too. Those are just some options. For the spells, we're playing 3 Twin Twisters to get through back row, and then just 4 one-ofs. So 1 sword, could play 2, but 1 is probably the more consistent. 1 Kaiju Slumber, 1 Foolish, and 1 Soul Charge. These are just like your Saki cards. Well, I guess these 3 are. This one you just search when you need it. But yeah, I mean, those are all pretty powerful. You don't really need more Kaiju Slumbers because this deck's pretty good at like just blowing up fields. It's getting the monsters that can't be blown up off the field. That's the hard part. For the traps, it's just 5. We're playing 2 Call the Haunted and then 1 Bug Emergency. Bug Emergency is cool because it like just throws a rank 3 on board, where Call the Haunted doesn't. And a lot of times, Bug Emergency gets you to whatever you would have called the Haunted anyway. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think there's not enough room for more than 3 revival traps, and I think if you're playing 1 Bug Emergency, just makes your deck a little bit more versatile. And then lastly, just 2 Magic Deflector. This last 2 slot is kind of like Tech Spot, but I think that Magic Deflector is really good in this deck because just blanking your opponent for a turn is really important. Against Monarchs, you can hit like Stormforth and Domain, obviously, Brilliant Fusion, Twin Twisters, stuff like that. Against Cosmos, it hits similar stuff. Twin Twisters, all the field spells that they're playing now, as well as Emergency Teleport. So having Deflector to just blank your opponent's turn while you set up is really important. For the extra deck, it's pretty standard, or pretty similar to a standard Digital Bug lineup, but there's a couple differences. So 3 of the Digital Bug Sciradiator, who knows, the little beetle guy. So he's cool, and he's obviously like the main one you're making. He's like the defensive option to make, so we're playing 3 of him. And then 2 Corbage, and then 1 the Rhino guy. Like I always say, the Rhino is almost always just inferior to Gaia Charger, but like there are some times when it actually does come up, so yeah. 2 Giga Brilliant, still really important. In this deck, I mean, Inzektors have always played Giga Brilliant because a lot of times their fields have like 7,000 damage, and then doing the Giga Brilliant for like 4 monsters just makes it a lot easier to kill your opponent. But it's also good because you can rank up into the Corbage. Then 1 Mech Equipped for the combos, 1 Dante, because it's good first turn if you like don't have a good hand and you need to get like Hornet or stuff in grave. It also puts Digital Bugs in the grave for Cocoon Denser. 1 Break Sword. Break Sword is kind of an option. You can switch around with stuff. You could play a Shark Fortress instead. You could play Totem Bird is a good option. Grand Pulse is okay, I guess. But Break Sword, I mean, it's just a good... I mean, it's a Diamond Direwolf for level 3, rank 3s, which is just really powerful, pushing through background stuff. Yeah, it's good to make off a Terratop when your opponent has a lot of back row. Mainly that's the use for it. 1 Durandal, 1 Volcasaurus, the only 2 rank 5s we're playing. I feel like these are the, well, besides the Corbage, I feel like these are just like the best generic rank 5s in the game right now. So yeah, really easy choice to play those. 1 Gaia Treasure, 1 F-Zero, just to overlay on your other Exceed monsters. So yeah, that was my rendition of Digital Bug. Inzektors. You could not play the Kaijus, I guess, if you really wanted to avoid those. I think you really do just have to play them though, and then you could try to fit in Brilliant Fusion. Like this is not, I can't find space for Brilliant Fusion because that takes like 5 slots and an extra deck spot. Yeah, it's tough. Like at that point, you'd probably have to cut the Kaijus, and I don't really want to do that. So yeah, that was my list. I think it works pretty well. It has its advantages and disadvantages over the standard Digital Bug list. It's probably less consistent because you have 2 archetypes and you can open some really dead hands. But it's like way more explosive and the power level is crazy. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will check you guys later.